these guys were out here practicing a little earlier. So before we get started, I just need to make sure that we're all set, that they were paying attention. So let me just say, Omaha! Omaha! 44's Mike. Beggs, Montana. I don't know, it doesn't seem to work as well for me. Let's give it up for the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. Yeah. We have some big Broncos fans in the house, including Mayor Hancock from the great city of Denver, outstanding members of Congress, the delegation. I want to recognize Broncos CEO Joe Ellis, a couple of your former quarterbacks, GM John Elway, Coach Gary Kubiak, and let's give a big round of applause to Mrs. Annabelle Bolin. As many of you know, Annabelle is here on behalf of the Bolin family and her husband, Pat, the longtime Broncos owner who's inspiring all of us with his courageous fight against Alzheimer's. And it's only fitting that when they won the Super Bowl in February, John declared from the podium, this one is for Pat. And we were backstage talking, the record that Pat was able to put together, going to more Super Bowls than losing seasons, that's pretty remarkable. You're not going to see that duplicated in many places. That's a testimony to what an extraordinary owner he has been and continues to be. Pat and Annabelle have led this organization for 32 successful years. That rivals just about any other franchise in football. In that time, the Broncos have, as I said earlier, gone time and time again to the Super Bowl, and last year was a high water mark with a third Super Bowl trophy and a dominating win over Carolina. That doesn't mean it was always pretty or ever pretty. Coaches acknowledge this is a gritty, hard-nosed group of grinders. Last season, the Broncos won an NFL record 11 games by a touchdown or less. And you don't do that without one of the greatest defenses of all time. Now, I'm a Bears fan. 1985 was pretty good. Elway remembers. But I got to admit, this one was pretty good too. It all starts with Super Bowl MVP Von Miller, who terrorized opponents from the edge all season long. In the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game, he had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, an interception. Not bad for a guy who prides himself on his collection of eyeglasses and claims to have been a geek all his life. We also saw him on Dancing with the Stars. I think he's wearing his dance shoes today. Where were they? They were shiny and impressive. Von was not alone. There was his partner on the opposite side, DeMarcus Ware. You had an extraordinary defensive line, a lockdown secondary. All-in-all coordinator Wade Phillips' defense led the league in 19 statistical categories, including total defense, passing defense, and sacks. And down the stretch, they smothered 3 of the 4 top offenses in football. And then there was an offense that always seemed to come up big when it needed to. There's running backs C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman. Receivers Emmanuel Sanders and Demarius Thomas. And we can't forget to mention the heart and soul of this team's offensive firepower, kicker Brandon McManus.
Smart man.
And then there's this guy from the commercials. Doesn't matter whether you need insurance, pizza, a Buick. You basically can stock your whole household with stuff this guy is selling. You know where to turn. It's Peyton Manning. Where'd Peyton go? He's around here somewhere. There he is. I have to say,